My boyfriend, Rumi, says, you're born with potential. You're born with goodness and trust. You're born with ideals and dreams. You're born with greatness, and you're born with wings. You're not meant for crawling, so don't. You have wings. Learn to use them and fly. I believe every bit of that. What's missing is he doesn't say it's easy. He doesn't say it's easy. It's interesting, when I started, I was looking, say yes to life. Doesn't that sound fun? Oh. And I said, yes, let's say yes to all that's good and right and true and beautiful and wonderful and feels good and all that. Doesn't that feel good? But we can't. Because when I really thought about it, it's all God. That's our number one tenet that we teach. Not just the goodness and the greatness and the potential and the wonder. It's all from the same oneness, allness, the same energy, the same life that we call God. It's all there. So when we say yes to life, we have to say yes to the magic and the miracles and the messiness. We have to say yes to all of it, because that's why we're here. And Rob, when you were talking about, and you're going deeper this Sunday, you're talking about why we meditate. We meditate, I mean, I'm not making that up. You can tell me more in a minute, but because we've got to get in touch with who we really are. We are an individualized expression of that God consciousness, unique and individual, and we're all here on purpose. We all have reason. We all have something that no one else has. And we've got to get into that by going inward and meditating and praying and connecting with that something that we are. And this experience of this thing we call life is a teacher, as you said, Dave. It's teaching us. How can we learn to get up if we don't fall down? How can we learn what's wonderful and good and right if we don't learn the other way? So we need to learn how to live this life in its fullness. So when we say yes to life, Ernest Holmes equates life with a capital L. That's right for you, right? Capital L. Life with a capital L is God. That's what it is. So when we're saying yes to life, we're saying yes to that God essence within us, so we can learn to live fully. Now, I don't know about you, but I love the mystics. I love the mystics. They're not mysterious people. They're people who just know their oneness with life, their oneness with God. They make sense of it all. And if you look at the life of mystics, they don't live easy lives, but they have that sense of knowing. So I want to share with you, I guess I was just needed Rumi yesterday, because I read a lot of him, but he has a poem called There You Are, and I think it answers what we're talking about. He says, God, you're inside every kindness. When a sick person feels better, you're that. And at the onset of disease, you're there too. Somebody loves something, somebody hates something, you are there. There is no reality but God. There is only God. Every anger, every love, every kindness, every fear and greed, every accident, cruelty, terror, and gentleness, there you are, and there we are. It's the package of the whole thing. It was interesting when I looked up, say yes to life, Google it. The person that came up first was Viktor Frankl. I was like, whoa. The Austrian psychologist, Holocaust survivor, and I said, wow, that's a big deal. A man who lost his parents and his pregnant wife and his brother to the concentration camps, who 11 months after he left the camps, he started giving lectures to the Vienna community. And the topic of his talks and his lectures? The meaning of life. You see, he found out, he studied with Freud, and Freud thought the purpose of man's existence, man's and women, people's existence, was for pleasure, to find pleasure in life. But after he was in the camps, he realized that's not true. The people that survived were the people that had meaning in their life, who knew why they were alive and why they were there. There was a greater purpose. There was something that pulled them out of those atrocities. I mean, here's Frankl, near death, starvation, and atrocities we can't even imagine. And yet he could give those lectures. They put those lectures together in a book, and it was called Yes to Life in Spite of Everything. If that can't make us understand there's something bigger for all of us always. And he actually, most of us know his book, Man's Search for Meaning. But I didn't know, I just read yesterday that he dictated that book in 9 days to his assistants. And it was put in a book, and it was sold millions in many different languages. Man's Search for Meaning, our search for meaning. So, if we really look at it, it was Joseph Campbell, when asked, well, what's the meaning of life? He said, life has no meaning except what we give it. We give life meaning. So we can decide what we're going to make of this thing called life, this whole big package of the miracles, the magic, and the messiness, what we're going to do with it. We get to decide. And as Ernest Holmes says, change your thinking, change your life. It's your thoughts that create your experience. So we have to realize we've got to take some control of what's going on within us. Because this life, if we're living it the right way, is not lived from the outside in, as most of us try to make it. It's lived from the inside out. And we've got to start doing that work inside each of us, not some of us, but all of us. There is this God pressure. We call it the divine urge, whatever it is, that wants to flow through us, to express through us, that wants to keep us on that road through all the experiences we have along the way, collecting the lessons and the learnings and the joy and the love and the pain and the hurt and all of it. So we gather along the way to that greater goal, that greater purpose, that understanding. Yet we've been given this thing called free will and choice, and we can block that flow, that pressure, or we can use it. The pressure doesn't stop on its own. It's there. We stop it with our judgment, with our negativity, with our self-doubt. A beautiful woman, I love watching her on her TED Talks and her books, on her podcasts and what she does, Brené Brown. She's so real. She's so real and vulnerable, and she talks about life, and she's doing all this fun stuff. Her new book is called Braving the Wilderness. And she has a quote that really, it rung true to me, because how often do we do this? She says, don't go through life looking for evidence that you don't belong, because you will find it. Don't go through the world looking for evidence you are not enough, because you will find it. She says our worth and our belonging don't belong to other people. Our worth and our belonging don't belong to other people. We carry those inside our own heart, right here inside us. There's our worth and our belonging. But how often do we seek approval and attention from other people? It could be 1 or 2 or 3 people. We seek attention. We want them to like us. We want to look good in their eyes. We give them power over who we are instead of recognizing we are children of the divine. We have a divine heritage. We have our own uniqueness inside of us, and we give that power to someone else. Wrong. The right is to get in here and recognize we're unique, we're wonderful, and get to know who we are so we don't betray ourselves. How many of us don't know who we are, so we're continually betraying who we really are? Precious, unique, and wonderful. We have to get to that, and we do that through our spiritual practices and finding out, living from that inside out. Our life is what our thoughts make it. The Roman Empire, the ancient Roman Empire said, Mark Aurelius, And my dear friend reminded me of another quote about how important our thoughts are and what we do with them and how we're thinking. And we have to master our thoughts, and we need to be better at them. We have to put better thoughts in our mind. We need to make sense of things, and we have to stop doing the things that start looking for the things that are wrong in us and start finding the things that are right and good. And it comes from the Jedi Knight, Qui-Gon Jinn. And he says, your focus determines your reality. And we've heard what you're looking at, you're looking with. Because it's our thoughts inside of us that see the things in our external experience. We have to start controlling those thoughts, so we're looking for something better, where we're looking for something more to make sense of things instead of making everything a problem. I talk so often about that thing where we have to reach higher. We have to take our thoughts from a higher place instead of reaching down and trying to make sense and put the pieces together here. Rumi said, don't knock on any random door like a beggar. Don't just go out looking for approval anywhere. You know, do you like me? Am I good enough for you? No, you don't do that. I added that. That's not what he said. But reach your long hand out to another door beyond where you go on the street. And that's what we do in meditation. That's what we do in prayer. That's what we do in contemplation. We have to find that essence within that moves us to something greater, that leads us to that meaning in life. That's what you were saying about going with the flow and surrendering, Dave. We have to do that because we have that power in us. And when we learn to use that power, now, here's what I think we need to do. How many of you have a little tiny bit of a problem in your life right now? Or even a gigantic one? Okay, well, if we would take time to sit in the presence of Spirit, close our eyes to see with our spiritual eyes, close our ears to hear with our inner ear, and open our mind and heart to something more, and feel the presence of goodness, of love, of kindness, of peace, of harmony, of solution, of understanding, whatever it is we're looking, feel it inside us, and hold whatever it is in front of us, and just let that energy flow, and surround the issue, the problem, whatever it is. Surround the joy to make it bigger, whatever it is, to just use that energy. It's amazing when we just let go. Let Spirit, let God be God as God, let good be good as good, let love be love. We hold it, how much lighter and better and more beautiful the situation becomes, whether it's only just our understanding of it or it actually physically changes itself. It's amazing what will happen. Amazing what happens if we let that go. How about if we start using the law of life, which is the law of cause and effects, the law of reciprocity, the law of mental equivalence, that law that reflects back to us what we put into it. What if we stop thinking about illness and weakness and not enoughness and start thinking about new possibilities, potentials, wonder, love, kindness? Rumi said, way to get out of your own problems, be a lamp, be a ladder, be a lamp, be a ladder, be a lifeboat. Help heal someone's soul. Get out of your own self. Help heal someone's soul. Leave your door and be a shepherd. Be a shepherd. Be the light that someone can follow, the goodness that someone can follow. We can do that. We can do that. So on our prayer wall today, I want you to think, Jesus said to the Pharisees, you clean the outside of your cups and plates, but the inside is filled with greed and self-indulgence. I don't know about you, but I have to wash my coffee cup every single day. It gets pretty dirty. We need to know that we are here to grow, adjust, become something greater. So as we ask our ministers and our practitioners to form a wall up here, as you open your mind and make the connection to the infinite power of goodness, please come up here now as we create our prayer wall. And I'd like you to speak after me. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is my life now. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. Now would you get up on your feet? And I want you to feel that God pressure from within you as it's opening up and filling you with I call them the white sparklies of goodness, of possibility, of potential, just filling you to overflowing right here, right now. So it's contagious. We all have it. You can feel it. And just say with me, there is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. And then say to the person next to you, and that life is your life now. And we'll say together, that life is our life now. And so it is. Thank you all for being here this Sunday. Thanks for participating in the goodness that's unfolding and knowing that we are here on purpose. We have a reason. There's meaning inside of us, and we're on this journey together. And so it is. I love you all. God bless you.